Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!
Ain't ready for this.
Oh shit!
Oh! It's me. Okay. Oh no!
This is it, boys and girls. The big one. I just saw a movie, and it is called Justice League. Oh my god. I'm gonna try really hard to make this shorter than 30 minutes. Like most of you, I grew up with the Justice League cartoon featuring, classics. You got Superman, you got Batman, you got Hawkgirl, Hawkman, The Question, Black Canary, Blue Beetle, Green Arrow, Red Arrow, The Flash, Martian Manhunter, and of course, Green Lantern, Black Green Lantern, John Stewart, no relation, fuck Hal Jordan, fuck Kyle Rayner, no one knows who Kyle Rayner is. We want John Stewart back, but, this isn't really a spoiler, but, you know what, okay, no, forget that one. Anyway, I grew up with the Justice League cartoon, and even beyond that, I've always been a huge Justice League fan. I've always preferred the Justice League over the Avengers, personally. Comics, one has Batman and one doesn't, so it's always been my favorite. So to say I was excited about this movie is a gross understatement. But let's just get right into it, shall we? This is a double feature after all. Gotta get started. This is day one. Do you like my nice outfit? I'm gonna wear a different outfit tomorrow, so most people wear different outfits on different days. Let's start with the characters. Batman, still awesome. Ben Affleck is the best Batman. Don't argue with me on this one, okay? Christian Bale is ass. He couldn't fight. He always got destroyed. He was a terrible detective.
Where are they? Where's the trigger? Where is it?
The worst. And he never used any gadgets. Batman whomst? No, Ben Affleck is shredded. He looks like him. He fucking used gadgets. He is a detective. He's smart. Oh my god. Don't even. Wonder Woman, still awesome. That's to be expected. Aquaman is really cool. I hope people take him more seriously now, which they should, because he was cool, but he was also very, very underutilized. What you saw in the trailer is pretty much what you get out of Aquaman, unfortunately, but he was still really, really dope. This isn't a spoiler either, because everyone knows this, but Superman's back, and he's back with a sense of humor. He's no longer brooding and looking constipated for an entire movie straight. He's doing things. Imagine that. And making jokes about it. Holy crap. Awesome. And, I've never been a fan of Cyborg. First of all, fun fact, little backstory here. Yeah, this is going to be 30 minutes long. Little backstory here, alright? When Justice League first became prominent, there was only white people in it. Shocker, I know. But there was only white people, and they were like, if we want to bring this into the new age, we need a black. And this is when the Teen Titans show became very, very popular. And they were like, hey, there's a black in that. Let's integrate Cyborg in here. That'll do it. That'll fill the one black guy ratio we need. And that they did. Now he's all over the place despite being a fucking boring character. His arc in Teen Titans was the most boring. He was the most lame character to me, opinions, in the show. And in the movie, he was pretty cool. He was kind of whining for half the movie, but when he stopped, he was pretty cool. And shocking to no one, The Flash was my favorite. I love Ezra Miller. He was hilarious. Awesome. That's how you make jokes at Thor Ragnarok and at every other Marvel movie. There's going to be a lot of Marvel bashing. I like Marvel movies. I have problems with them. On to the plot. It's pretty generic. There's a bad guy. He shows up. There's an evil box he wants to destroy the world with. And I don't know what it is with, superhero movies and evil boxes, but here we are. The year of our Lord 2017. Evil box number 30. And the superheroes, the good guys, come and stop it. You knew they were going to stop it. The pacing is kind of slow at the very beginning, but it picks up really, really well. But god, there was so much exposition. That's probably the worst part of the movie. Just the non-stop exposition. Like every time a character is introduced, Aquaman, your mother was a saint She abandoned me when I was 4 years old. But don't tell me how good my mother was. Cyborg, listen, I know you died in that car crash 3 months ago and I brought you back to life, but you gotta face facts, you know, you can't keep living in the shadows like this. Just every character that the Flash, well, actually, he's perfect. There was just a whole lot of exposition, but that's to be expected when DC had to rush, or they didn't have to, but they chose to rush to try to catch up to Marvel, and they sacrificed individual movies first, which is what gave Marvel that edge, because we already knew those characters before they formed up in the Avengers, and in this one, the common person doesn't really know much about Aquaman or Cyborg, you know, so they kind of had to shove all this information down our throats, give everyone a tragic Naruto backstory at once, so we are prepared for the next movies and the future installments, which I am. But yeah, that was kind of a problem. Let's move on to the action. Fucking phenomenal. Superman's first fight. I can't say anything beyond the fact that it is one of the best fight scenes I've seen. It might be the best fight scene I've seen in a superhero movie, especially in a long time. And it's definitely up there with like an action movie in general. It was mind blowing. He was fucking people. Oh, it was ridiculous. Just what this is the Superman we need, but not the one we deserve. It was awesome. Please talk to me about the scene once you see this movie, please. I need someone. I need to release. And I'm, you know, after this and like the X-Men movies with Quicksilver and like the new ones, I'm starting to think I have like a speedster kink, you know? Every time the Flash goes really, really fast and things around him go really, really slow, I just got like 15 nuts out of that alone. These pants were black when I got them. That was a joke. Mostly. But in the end, there were some writing issues, there were a few pacing issues, but all in all, it is excellent. And I'm gonna just smash that motherfucking rating on there. I'm giving Justice League a thick 4 out of 5. I really enjoyed the shit out of this movie. If you know anything about me, you know that I don't give a movie more than a 4 unless it gives me an emotional response. There was no emotional depth in this movie. They tried to add a little bit in, referencing Wonder Woman's movie and referencing some other sad stuff every once in a while during the heavy-handed exposition, but it never really comes off, it's never genuine enough to really rile anything in anyone. I don't think you're really going to be, you know, pulling out your tissues, a little pocket hanky to dab your eyes from your tears about Aquaman fucking, you know, having daddy issues. I don't think that's really something you're gonna have to worry about too much. I lost a few points for that, but in general it was a blast. The action was incredible, the cast was fantastic, they had great chemistry, the colors, I can't believe Joss Whedon saved the DCEU. I mean, no offense, Zack Snyder, I love your cinematography, but have you ever made like a great movie before? Nah, you made good movies, I love your movies, but to say that they're good is kind of, I'm checking my camera's battery. No more slip-ups like Flatliners. Not that anyone watched. Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and I think you'll really like it. Unless you're part of this. Oh yeah, it's conspiracy time, by the way, motherfuckers. This is better than like Marvel's last 5 movies. Alright, so y'all are critics now? When DC comes out with a new movie? Word? Oh, why is Thor the best Marvel or superhero movie of all time? Because they called a black hole in the sky Satan's anus? Is that what you're looking for in your movies? It needs more asshole jokes. That's the trick. That's, you know, without an asshole joke, I couldn't even get through the Shawshank Redemption because they didn't reference any of the guy's assholes. Like, no. Every critical review I've seen hasn't even been a critical review. It's pretty much the depth of a sticker on a child's test in elementary school. Great job. No additional input needed because Marvel is hemorrhaging money right now, and you guys just let them chug you along. As I figured, my camera died during my anti-Marvel rant. I'm a bad cop. I'm a tough dad. It's probably for the best that a lot of that got cut. It got pretty explicit. Point is, I feel like this movie is better than like Marvel's last 10 identical movies, and I think you guys should form your own opinions. See this movie. I think it's really good. And that's really, I need to clean my room. That's really the cut and dry of it. That's the long and thick of it. So, that's it. Next, I'm going to be seeing Lady Bird. Oh wait, well, I don't know why I'm doing this. I should just be, okay, moving right along, I guess. Justice League, 4 out of 5. Awesome. Dream come true. God bless. And that's basically it. I'm a huge nerd. Did you know? Have you heard the good news, sir? I'm just rambling. On to Lady Bird. Oh, and also, Cyborg says, this one's for Brent. Cyborg says booyah, and he does it well. It doesn't feel unnecessary. It's a good booyah. And oh shit, what else was I gonna say? Hold on. Oh, thanks, Chris. And stay after the credits. Stay after the credits. Talk to me after you've stayed after the credits, please. Do it.
Tomorrow.
Hello. As advertised, this is day 2. You can tell by the various noises in the background of my different outfit and the different setting that it is another day. That's what we in the film biz like to call staging. There's also very good acoustics in here as my girlfriend shakes her head in displeasure in the background. Why she feels the need to do recycling as soon as I set the review. Anyway, I just saw a movie, and it is called...
What I'd really like is to be on Math Olympiad.
But math isn't something you're terribly strong in.
That we know of yet.
Lady Bird. And here is what I think about it. I was very, very excited to see it. I love Saoirse Ronan. She's one of my favorite actresses in Grand Budapest Hotel and Lovely Bones. She very much struck a chord with me. And she just looked really cool in this movie. And it also had a similar vibe based on the trailers to Edge of 17, which was one of my favorite movies of last year and one of my favorite movies of all time. It might have been my favorite movie of last year, I think, actually. But it is very much not what I expected. Not in a bad way, but in a way that it felt less like a movie and more like a documentary. But I'll get more into that a little bit later. I'll start with the characters. Beginning with Lady Bird, of course. She was fantastic. Everyone was just really realistic. They felt multidimensional. They were all interesting. And nobody felt ingenuine. You know, everyone felt very necessary and just like real people. And I thought that was very unique and interesting about this movie. Just how very real it all felt. So the characters, no complaints at all. The writing is probably the best part of this movie. It was incredible. The dialogue was so spot on. And as with every movie, as we in the film business, that's the second time I said that, like I'm actually in the business. I'm not actually, anyway. As with every movie, you would like to believe that everything has a purpose in being there, but with this movie it actually does. A lot of things people say in movies are kind of just one-off jokes, and as a viewer you go into this movie expecting that. Like a person says something offhandedly and you think that that's that, but literally everything anybody does or says in this movie in some way, shape, or form comes back like before the end of the movie. Like they reference everything that had happened previously in the movie in some way, and it's almost like a mystery because like by the end of the movie questions are being answered that you didn't even know to ask. Like I don't want to say anything, I don't want to spoil anything, but I just can't stress how real it felt. Just like how people in real life normally don't just say or do things just to say or do them. Like they normally have a purpose behind them. Just like that, everyone in this movie had meaning behind their actions and decisions, and I thought that was very, very cool and noticeable. The pacing was good. I don't have any complaints. It jumped through time quite a lot, but I thought that they handled that very well. Actually, before the movie ended in a kind of abrupt but it felt kind of right kind of way, I was genuinely prepared to just like sit there and just follow Lady Bird for like the rest of her life, like into adulthood, like finding a family, her wedding, her children, her grandchildren. Like I was ready. Like I was already there. I was in there, and not many movies can kind of grip a person like that. Well, especially me. And then the plot. This is where the documentary thing kind of comes into play because there wasn't really a plot. It felt more like a series of events or experiences that we were just witnessing Lady Bird go through. And that's not a bad thing, but it's certainly nothing like Edge of 17, for example. The only thing those two movies have in common is that they're coming of age movies about teenage girls. That's pretty much it. But they're both very good in their own ways. This plot, it wasn't really, it felt like I said, like a documentary. And that's why it's hard to kind of nitpick at this movie, because you're like nitpicking at it feels like you're nitpicking at real people. And like, how can you criticize a real person in the same way you criticize fictional characters? It's just very strange. And that's why I'm finding it so difficult to kind of form the words to describe how I felt about this movie and how quality I find it. But I'm about to say all that being said, but I didn't want to say that much. But I'm going to go ahead and rate it now. I thought Lady Bird was a solid 4 out of 5 for me. And that was because I can't remember seeing anything like this, especially in recent memory. All the characters are interesting, and it was very fascinating. I had a great time. It was a very, very funny movie. I couldn't see anything coming because, like I said, there was no plot, so there's nothing to really predict happening. But it was still a great time, very heartfelt, very relatable, I'm sure, to a lot of people. And I think people should give it a shot, as they did, because in the limited release, it broke so many records, and this is very difficult to do, not in my room. I think you should see it. I enjoyed it. It's 4 out of 5 for me. And to wrap it all up, my girlfriend is very, very loud, even though she's trying not to be. And when she tries not to be loud, she does louder things, but it's okay. It's a somber kind of thing, you know? It's a very intimate situation. You know, she's supposed to be doing work, but instead of doing work, she's kind of cleaning the entire apartment.
I'm cleaning my room so I have room in my desk.
I'm trying to do
I'm gonna
this.
throw this tea bag at me.
You say you're gonna teabag me?
I'm gonna do it.
Please don't teabag me. The movie was good. Sorry for all the distractions. Thank you for watching. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this video. I can't remember what my next movie is. It might be Coco. So look forward to that next week. And yeah, that's it, I guess. Right.